We're on Keilim Perek Hey, Mishnah Zayin, 7th Mishnah in the 25th chapter of Masechet Keilim. So we learned about all these different, we're learning about Acharayim Vatoch, outside and inside, vis-a-vis the idea, I now finished my coffee, vis-a-vis the idea of the ear, the handle, different kinds of handles, or if it had a base, or if it had a lip. So we're going to learn about a part of a kli that we haven't heard before. You might not have ever heard. I never heard of it. Called a Beit Tzvitah. You see, the Bartenura has this thing called the Beit Tzvitah. So Beit Tzvitah is essentially, it's a perforation inside with which it's like an indentation in the kli with which you would use it as a handle. So here, this is like a Beit Tzvitah. You would use it inside as a handle. I don't know, does he have a cup? Does he have an example of a cup? He doesn't really have an example of a cup, but we see it's possible to have, they would make the cups with with an indentation so you could hold it properly. And that's called the Beit Tzvitah. So do the properties of Acharayim Vatoch apply to the Beit Tzvitah, to this handle as well? So let's read it in the Mishnah, and then we'll see what the language is, what it's based upon. Kol Keilim yeshlam Acharayim Vatoch. All these Keilim, they could have an Acharayim Vatoch, but it has an Acharayim Vatoch. V'yeshlam Beit Tzvitah. And it also has this thing called the Beit Tzvitah. Okay, somebody say, why is it called Beit Tzvitah? Makom she'ochez bo be'etzba'o. See the word etzba? I don't know why we call it Tzvitah, but you see the root, tzadi bet ayin, and that's why we call it Beit Tzvitah. But the Nura says, no, I have the gears of Beit Tzvitah, from the language of Vayitzbot la Kali, that Boaz extended to her. So I don't know what the word like Vayitzbot la, you biblical people can WhatsApp me or email me. Right here, you can email me and let me know what the Beit Tzvitah what the word Tzvitah is. I'm not going to go into it. But nonetheless, everyone knows what we're talking about. It's like this indentation in the cup or in the kli. So the Mishnah says, all the kelim that have an acharayim vatoch, v'yesh them Beit Tzvitah. Any kli can have a Beit Tzvitah. Rabbi Tarfon says not any kli. La'arava gdola shel etz. No, the ariva gdola, this big basket made of wood, a big wood basket. So it had this big wooden basket, this big wooden receptacle. It was very hard to hold. So you had these like indentations they would chisel into the side of the receptacle in order to hold it. And the idea being, of course, and we're going to see, it doesn't go one way or two ways. I.e., if there's liquid on the outside, if there's tamei liquid, does it make the person tamei who's holding it? Or if the person, he didn't wash his hands, and this was very, very common, that the person would not wash their hands, and then his hand, he would have yadayim misav, what it's called, meaning hands that are tamei tumaat yadayim, they would have impurities of the hands, and then they would touch the basket, and then does it make the whole basket tamei? So Rabbi Tarfon says, this rule of Beit Tzvitah only applies to Ariva Gdola, this big wood basket. This Rabbi Kiva says, Likosot. It also applies to cups. Rabbi Meir said, I knew I did. Rabbi Meir says it applies liadayim hatmeot vehatorot. It applies both to hands that are tamei, i.e., if there's liquid if my hands are tamei and they're a little wet, and I touch the cup only on the indentation, I stick my fingers in. Do I make so does it have a special din of Beit Tzvitah, i.e. it doesn't affect the rest of the cup or not? So, and also, yadayim tahorot, if the cup is tamei and my hands are tahor, can the cup transfer liquid if I only touch the Beit Tzvitah? So Rabbi Meir says, no, this rule of Beit Tzvitah applies both ways, tamei hands and tahor hands. Amar Rabbi Yossi says, no, lo amru ela liyadayim hatahorot bilba. It only works for tahor hands. If I pick up my cup, my hands were tahor. I wash my hands, and now I pick up the cup, and they had liquid on it. So now, do I have to wash my hands again? The answer is no. I'm okay. Okay, but it doesn't work the other way around. If my hands are tamei, the Beit Tzvitah or Beit Tzvitah doesn't save the cup. That's Rabbi Yossi's opinion. We're going to see in the next Mishnah exactly. Well, we'll have one example of how that worked. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to remember my father, Rab Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.